Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. As people know who are familiar with this channel, I have been doing many videos about Jeff Sessions, expressing my concern about his history of racism, expressing concerns about his abysmal civil rights record. And sadly, the things that I had been concerned about are coming into fruition right now. My concerns are becoming manifest right now. This man has only been in office for less than a month, if I'm not mistaken, and he is already taking the Justice Department backwards and this country backwards. He is turning back the clock on civil rights right now. Jeff Sessions announced that the Justice Department will limit its use of suing police departments for civil rights violations. This is something that I warned people about. This is something that I discussed in past videos. I knew that this man would take the Justice Department in this direction. I mean, here we are in an era where every other day, black people are captured on video being killed by these stinking police. But yet this man wants to limit the use of suing the police to enforce civil rights violations. This man says that he wants to do this in order to make the police departments more effective, and he wants to provide federal assistance to these police departments. The police cannot be effective when the community relations with the police are in horrible shape. When the police are brutalizing black people and there is no justice, when the police are harassing black people and there is no justice, when the police are stopping and frisking black people without justification, all of those things destroy the relationship between the community and the police. And if there is no relationship between the community and the police, there can be no effective policing in communities. Often, civil rights lawsuits against police departments are the only way to reform those police departments. We cannot rely on the police to police themselves. Someone has to watch over them. And if the federal government is not doing the job, that leaves all of us in a state of jeopardy. It undermines policing, it undermines community trust, and that is something that this man does not seem to understand. But this is what I anticipated. This is what many of us anticipated just out of statements this man has made about the issue of policing in black communities. Now, I often hear people say, well, Obama didn't do anything for black people. Now, those same people, they're going to see the difference between Obama's Justice Department and Sessions' Justice Department and Trump's Justice Department. Obama opened 25 investigations, during his time in the White House. His Justice Department opened 25 investigations. They enforced 19 agreements dealing with civil rights. And they also resolved lawsuits in Ferguson, Missouri, Baltimore, New Orleans, Cleveland, and 15 other cities. But yet people want to say that Obama did nothing for black people. All of those suits involved police departments and issues of police brutality in black communities. But yet people want to say that Obama's doing nothing. And here you have a man who is going backwards, reversing that tactic of suing police departments when they violate the citizens' civil rights. Not only that, not only is this man no longer going to use lawsuits against police departments to create change, this man is also going in the wrong direction when it comes to voting rights. And we told y'all about this. Coretta Scott King told you about this. She told you about it. But nobody wanted to listen. So Jeff Sessions announced that the Department of Justice is going to withdraw from their legal battle involving Texas's voter ID law. And this should come as no surprise to those of us who have been in tune with what's going on. Because this is the same man, after all, as I have said in other videos, who stated that he thought that the Shelby County versus Holder case was good news for the South. That's a case that gutted the Voting Rights Act. So here we have a situation where the Justice Department is withdrawing from a case where a federal judge found that Texas's voter ID law was an unconstitutional poll tax, a case where the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals struck down the law for having a discriminatory effect, a case where that same Court of Appeals sent the case back to the district court to determine whether or not the law was enacted with discriminatory intent. So now the Justice Department is out of this case because of decisions that Jeff Sessions has made. And now the nonprofit civil rights groups must continue to litigate it without help from the Justice Department. The Justice Department has major resources, and now those groups will be forced to continue to litigate it without the assistance of the Justice Department. And this whole situation has several lessons in it for people to learn. The first lesson is this, and the most important lesson is this, just the importance of elections. The election of Donald Trump made this possible for the Justice Department to no longer be in the business of protecting our civil rights, no longer being concerned about protecting the people from police brutality, no longer concerned about protecting people's voting rights. In fact, I would not be surprised if the Justice Department continues in this direction. They are more concerned about non-existent in-person voter fraud than they are about the issue of concrete, clear examples of voter suppression. So yeah, this election made a difference. And if you can't see after this how important elections are, I don't know what else to tell you. So I think that what we need to do is really get prepared for the next elections coming up for Congress, for the members of Congress. We need to get prepared for those elections. If you are not registered to vote, you need to register to vote as soon as possible. You need to become aware of the issues. You need to be educated about who your Congress people are, who's your representative, who are your senators, who are your elected officials on a local level, and what have they done for your community. You need to know what their positions are on the issues. And you need to vote your interests. Sitting on the sidelines complaining will not solve anything. Complaining after the fact about white supremacy and Trump's racism after the fact is null and void. It's pointless. These people are complaining about Trump. They're complaining about Sessions. They're complaining about white supremacy in the White House. But yet these same fools didn't have the intelligence to vote. Instead, they encourage you and me not to vote. So that's my advice. We need to get prepared for a battle. And one way to fight is with a ballot. And we're going to have to fight in the streets through protests, through civil disobedience. We're going to have to lobby our members of Congress. And we have to fight these appointments.